Yo, what's going on? Um, you know, today's video is gonna be more for I'm gonna say the mature. It's gonna be more on the advanced side. Um, and these are for people that without someone being up their ass telling them to do the work. And again, what is the work? Study what the fuck is in front of you. Study how this reality works. Study how this mind works. This is operating the same way in every person. Just like if you have all these major studies that these colleges do on fucking insects, animals. They learn how they breed. How a web comes out of a spider, to all the way how this animal, when it's in the flight or fight situation, their claws come out, and how they mate, or what type of signals they do in order to signal mating. You know how these studies get in depth like that? That's how you need to study about yourself. But like I said, this is for the mature. These are for the people that don't get too easily offended about how yourself, this program, how the mental world works. So I'm gonna go into this. For the mature, for the well-seasoned person, again, this is advanced teaching, so I don't even expect most people to understand it fully unless you're there. And like I said, you've got there with your studies to the point where you have realized that imagination is what is on top of, say, the pyramid, on top of where spirituality starts. It's on the mountain. What happened with the Jesus story was Jesus gets led by the Holy Spirit. And, some people don't believe in the Bible, but I'm gonna give you a parable of the Bible in this situation, or an example where Jesus goes to the mountain and he gets led by the Holy Spirit, which led him to the mountain to get tempted by Satan, right? And in this story, this is where the max level of, let's say, knowledge happens for a person that desires everything in this world. Meaning, in that story, Jesus gets tempted by Satan, and Satan tells Jesus, hey man, if you worship me, I'll give you all the kingdoms of this earth. If you worship me, if you bow down to me, I'll give you all the desires of your flesh. I'll make you king of this world. Now, what's so funny about, that story is that was Satan's highest peak, let's say, which was on top of that mountain. But that was, let's say, Jesus' surface level starting point, because what he responded was, hey, I'm about my Father's business. I'm not here to do this earthly stuff. I'm not here to build a kingdom here. I'm not here to put myself so high on this world. I'm about my Father's business. So at that level where it was Satan's peak point of influencing, let's say, Jesus. And Jesus was like, man, this is a surface level shit. I'm going above it. I'm going higher. Like this what you're trying to give me is like below me. While again, Satan, this was his top moment to impress, to, seduce, to influence him to chase these things. Now, what am I saying here? What's the message? You have to understand that as time continues to go on, it's already happening now, people have lost the ability to use their imagination. People have lost the ability to tap into, let's say, the spirit. And what happens when you lose this ability? You can no longer see things from a larger, higher, in-depth point of view. Let's say a bird's eye view. That, say, prior to phones, most people were able to tap to, even if it was unconscious. Because now, what has replaced imagination, and I'm going to give you a big hint here, that is how you see in the spirit. What replaced imagination is opening up this phone, and the phone giving you the images, the creativity on the screen for you. So instead of using that part of your mind that you need to use, the phone does it for you. And the more you lose that muscle, the more harder it's going to get to see stuff in the spirit, hear it, just build the life you want. Let's say that. Becoming healthy. Because when you lose your imagination, you know what tends to happen? You get sick. You get anxiety. You get depressed. You don't have control of your mind. You don't have control of the situations around you. And when that starts to happen, you get even more physical, because now someone outside of you has to prescribe you something for your imagination. Hey, sir, okay. I'm going to give you X, Y, and Z so you don't imagine even more. Like I said, this is for a more mature, advanced audience, because 9 times out of 10, you have to be not childish, but childlike to enter the kingdom of heaven. And you can hear this message 5 times, 10 times, 20 times. But until you start to apply it, it doesn't matter. You're always going to be, again, used by your mind, because you're not applying the information. You don't believe that being childlike is the key. You don't believe that using your imagination is the gateway to the spirit. Because when someone picks up the Bible, like if someone's like, hey, I'm gonna give myself up to God, and they pick up a Bible or a spiritual book, it's too dense. It's so much that's why we need help from people, let's say elders or people above us, or a little bit more knowledge in these areas, that go, hey man, it's this simple. Hey man, you need to see it like this. Because if you don't, you're just not going to dive deep into it, because naturally, just observing, just society and how people grow up, people don't really care too much about God, spirituality and stuff, because they're trying to win and they're trying to get their desires of this world. And once you realize that, you realize why people are stuck in a depressed state, because nothing here, you're not even supposed to do anything that impressive here. There's nothing else to do here. They already done it all. But I'm gonna leave y'all with that, so y'all could cook with that.